What is good, YouTube? WarStew here with another video on the future of the Flash movie. This video is predominantly going to be talking about the Flash movie, but we've also got some crazy developments to do with what is freaking going on with the DC universe under the eyes of Pete Safran and James Gunn, but more specifically James Gunn. So if you are new around here, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel, DC, pop culture based content that we try to deliver on a daily basis. If you could subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, and let me know everything that you think about this video down below. Any constructive criticism is always welcome, so make sure to subscribe, turn notifications on, and comment down below. I want some feedback. I want to make this channel better. Let me know what you want, what you don't want, what you dislike, what you do like. I have had a few comments saying something about the audio, but I'm using the Shure SM7B, which is pretty much one of the best microphones you can buy. I would try my best to make the audio sound better, but recently I've had probably like 10 or 20 comments about the audio over the last month. And as a YouTuber who's predominantly a voiceover channel, any comments about the audio is not good. So let's get into this video. And also, if you could check us out on Twitter, WarStewG. And also, if you could check us out on Instagram at WarStew to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. We are so not close to 30,000 followers. But if you could follow me on Instagram at WarStew, it would be much appreciated. So a promotion for the Flash movie got out yesterday. The Flash Film News page posted it on their Twitter account. Now, this was from DC Fandom event, the promotion that actually leaked. But what is more telling here is Warner Bros. Discovery is going to be spending $6 to $7 million on a Super Bowl advert, when literally this promotion has done more for the Flash movie than anything else. And it actually does confirm and ruin and kind of spoil a lot of big things to do with this movie. But for some reason, it was taken down. This video is blocked and it may contain content owned by Warner Bros. Content Protection. So they copyright claimed everyone that posted said video. This movie is coming out this year. What is freaking going on? Warner Brothers, get your act together. Like, seriously, I get it. You're trying to hide Ezra Miller, but he needs to be put out there. He's in 99% of the movie. He's playing two different roles. You can't hide him for much longer. But to actually copyright claim your own advert that should be out there months ago. Now, this movie comes out in June, which is going to be a huge month for movies. Transformers new movie, Indiana Jones new movie, Into the Spideyverse 2, Across the Spideyverse, Sony's animation Spider-Man movie, and the Flash movie. It is going to get buried in competition. Every other movie coming out in that month already has active promotion out there and active trailers already out there. What are you doing? I know they're waiting to the Super Bowl, but just put it out there. Why do you copyright claim on Twitter? They're not making money. What is the point? It is really weird when companies do these copyright takedowns on Twitter. So, yes, this did reveal an awful lot of information. It really did. Now, I don't know how I'm going to edit this, because if they've taken it on Twitter, they could take it down on YouTube, even though it's under fair use. So I won't use a video clip. I may overlay some pictures. So one of the most promising things is there's a scene we see, and it's obviously going to be when Barry is traveling through the multiverse, where you see very cool things. You see Christopher Reeve's Superman. You see a bunch of Batmans. You see Gal Gadot. You see literally everyone. I think that's Christian Bale Batman. It's hard to tell because obviously I don't have access to the video because I didn't think it would get taken down, so I've only got a picture. But what is interesting is you see the different Flashes. You see what everyone is describing as the Black Flash. Now, I really hope this isn't the Black Flash and it's like the Dark Flash, like the Metal Dark Flash or something, because the Black Flash literally comes to speedsters who mess up the timeline and corrupt shiz. Although that would be somewhat comic book accurate, I really hope that isn't the case. So I guess you could say Christopher Reeve's Superman is briefly going to appear in this when Barry's traveling through the multiverse, and you see Batfleck, you see Gal Gadot, you see, like I said, a bunch of Supermans and a bunch of Flashes, which does reaffirm and confirm said plot leak. We see concept art for Supergirl. She appears to be jumping from some building with some kind of dress on, which looks badass. To be fair, Michael Keaton Batman does look pretty badass. So I don't know if I'm going to use this. We see concept art for Sasha Kali or Kala Supergirl. I don't know how you say her name, but it is cool and it looks pretty cool. It really did hype people up on Twitter, and then you start to take things down, which literally makes no sense to me at all. And there was some concept art that came out the other day for I mean, I actually had it before it, got leaked onto the internet. And a lot of people are rinsing the second Barry Allen's Flash is cow, I suppose, if you like, but they're trying to like differentiate the different Flashes because normies, as like casual people, won't actually be able to tell the difference if they didn't do something drastic with the ears. I mean, I get it, but to release it and then take it down, it's a bit insane. But the actual image that has Batman, Michael Keaton, Ezra Miller Flash, and then the other person's Ezra Miller Flash, and then it has Supergirl flying behind them. It's actually a really strong image, and this movie could be really good. It really could. But the marketing is really gonna have to be on point. Now, in this promotional material, he literally said, Andy Muschietti said, there's a week in Justice League in this movie. There is literally a montage of Gal Gadot. So she was supposed to be in this movie, just like your boy Warstu said. Now, we don't know if Gal Gadot's going to be cut from the movie. We don't know if Henry Cavill Superman's going to be cut from the movie, because what is the point? As I keep saying and alliterating, if this movie is not used to set up the new universe with James Gunn and Pete Safran, whatever they're planning, and they don't keep Ezra Miller, as much as I don't want them to keep Ezra Miller, they kind of have to, in a roundabout way, keep a version of Flash. If they've replaced him, if they've recasted him, whatever they do at the end of this movie, it needs to stick. And whoever is the Flash at this end of the movie, it needs to stick for some time before they go ahead and do a full-scale reboot. Now, from this promotion, people are getting hyped about it. They are really hyped about it because you can see some pretty cool things. You see the montage with all the different Supermans, all the different Batmans, and you see what looks like Dark Flash. I really hope they're not going with Black Flash. Obviously, Black Flash was part of Legends of Tomorrow and made a brief appearance with Grant Gustin, the Flash, in the CW scene. It's pretty cool that you hear Andy Muschietti literally saying they've got Michael Shannon back, Zod, and Fiora. It's weird because I feel like this leak was official, but then they got scared and kind of pulled it back because the Flash Film News posted it, got scared. I've seen this before. It's nothing new, but I didn't really want to talk about it. But now it's actually out there properly in a good, at least HD quality. It is still on Twitter, and you do see the other Flashes interacting with each other. And it could be really cool, like I keep saying. I do get criticism for saying I don't like Ezra Miller's The Flash, but I always keep alliterating, if you actually watch my content, that I could change my opinion about the actor playing the role of Barry Allen in The Flash in this movie if it is real. Now, I thought, why not go over the plot leak for Flash again? Because why not? I think it'd be cool. Some people haven't heard it. We're loosely going to go over it. Now, allegedly, there will 100% be a tease for the Reverse Flash. When Barry Allen's mum is killed, a yellow figure smiles at Barry and lunges at him. Barry escapes before the yellow figure can get to him. No actor or voice. It's pretty hard to make the figure out because he's just standing in the dark and you can only see his yellow arm and his eyes. Well, we kind of already see this scene in the first teaser that we've had for this movie. This is the issue. We haven't actually had a trailer. We've had a teaser, which is pretty much the same thing. The emotional parts are good. Ezra has amazing chemistry with the woman who plays Barry's mum. And I heard people started crying when Barry realized he couldn't save her. It's 1,000 times better than the CW one. Okay, well, that CW one up to season 4 was fire. Now, this is where I don't like the word in this. Black Flash is not really the villain of the film. It's Future Flash. Dark Flash, Dark Flash. Don't make him Black Flash. Wearing the Black Flash suit. They kind of merged the characters. It's essentially Future Flash just wearing the Black Flash suit. There are 3 Barrys in the film. The Barry we see in the trailer, long hair, gets brutally killed by evil Flash Barry. Future Flash, who is also him from the future. The film's Future Flash is an amalgamation of the comic version of Future Flash and Black Flash, as Flash fans will be the verdict on that. A lot of people don't realize, a lot of people call me a Marvel fanboy because I've been doing Marvel content recently. This YouTube channel started on me covering The Arrow with Stephen Amell and the CW show The Flash with Grant Gustin. The Future Flash is actually just the second Barry. Long hair, but from the future. His motivations is that when DCU Barry came to his universe, he ruined everything and destroyed his world. He gotten obsessed into saving his world, and he keeps trying to reverse time from getting destroyed, but he keeps failing. So he decided to go after the person who caused this. As I say, predominantly the storyline for this movie, it's not bad, it's just not great, but execution could literally save it. Future Flash spent 10 years to reverse time and figure out a safe way to stop Zod from destroying his world. Hence why Zod's in the movie. Barry was about to go back in time, but someone from Future's Barry just tried to kill him and accidentally knocked him out of the Speed Force into an alternate universe where Keaton's world is predominantly at. Sasha Calle's Supergirl is one of the best parts of the movie, with some calling her the best performance of the movie. I've heard very inconsistent things about her, but we can't judge it until we at least see her in action. Barry 1, our Barry, gets stuck in Keaton's world and finds Barry 2, who also has Flash powers. They both get Keaton, Batman, and Supergirl to fight a threat, Zod. They lose, and Barry 1 and 2 try to reverse time to save the universe, but it fails. Barry 1 gives up, but Barry 2 doesn't. That's when Future Flash, Future Barry 2 appears, revealing he tried to repeat multiple times but failed, so instead of repeating time to stop the accident, he enters the Speed Force to try and kill the person who caused this in the first place, DCEU Barry Allen. The way Ezra Barry is portrayed in this film has him act more like Wally and Bart hybrid than he does Barry in some scenes. Apart from some scenes, Ezra acts a bit like comic book Barry. He gets the heart and essence of the character right, and only acts like Wally and Bart hybrid in some scenes. Mostly the human parts, like freaking out like a fangirl when he sees the Batmobile. This pretty much lines up with everything that we already know. Trust me when I say this, you're gonna love Ezra Miller as Barry. More than you did in both the Justice League movies. I didn't actually love him either. Zod successfully kills Keaton, Batman, and Supergirl. Supergirl gets her neck snapped. It's actually pretty brutal. Worse than Henry Cavill Superman snapping Zod's neck. I do not believe that. Let's see it. Michael Shannon is a very good actor. Zod kills Henry Cavill Superman as a baby. Okay. We're just going to roll this because Henry Cavill's been taken out of the Cameo film. So let's just roll this. We don't know if it's going to be true. I do know it definitely did happen in some of the test screenings, but we don't know what notes James Gunn handed to people as he did keep saying that. Michael Shannon reprises his role as Zod. Cage is also not Superman in Keaton's world. It's Cavill, you know, before he got killed as a baby by Zod. Future Flash and Flash have a massive race because Future Flash wants to kill him. Barry doesn't want to die, obviously. When they do that, they travel into the multiverse. We see a load of different universes. Pattinson, Batman's universe, Linda Carter, Wonder Woman, Adam West, Batman, Grant Gustin, Flash, etc. Superman's existence is left somewhat ambiguous. Zod and Fiora are alive in a new timeline since Superman never killed them. Any film, TV show, including Peacemaker, released between Man of Steel and Shazam 2 are set in the old timeline. Shazam 2 is set in the old timeline. Everything after The Flash is set in a new timeline. Green Lantern, etc. Interesting. Iris only has a cameo in this movie. She only appears at the end of the film when Barry's father is released from prison, which we've also seen in set photos. So it does say Warner Bros. Was to use Michael Keaton temporarily in the DCEU. And then it says, update, they now know that apparently Pattinson will be involved in Crisis. Nothing of whether he'll join the DCEU. Person said the blonde girl who got casted in The Flash, Monica Jackson, could be either a gender bender, Mirror Master, or Killer Frost. But that's them guessing because they generally don't know. Don't expect any wild cameos. Keep expectations low. I feel like the overall film will not only be beloved by general audiences, but hardcore Flash fans. The Flash feels more like a classic fiction adventure in the vein of stories like Alice in the Wonderland and The Wizard of Oz than a typical superhero movie. Batfleck doesn't die, but isn't part of the new timeline. Well, we know at the end of the movie, he predominantly gets stuck somewhere and he asks Barry for help, but we don't know if that's going to make the final cut. No reference to Wally West. From what I heard, pretty brief reverse cameo from Reverse Flash only. So this movie could still be decent, but they've got to freaking advertise this movie properly. Now, based on the fact they've pretty much copyright claimed on Twitter, that video that came out yesterday, that reaffirms that everything I've already personally told you is 100% true, and there will pretty much be no surprises in this movie because the plot leak's been out there. Sure, they change things here and there, they retool things here and there, cool, but apparently the Superman scene with Henry Cavill won't be used, so will they still kill off baby Superboy, Superman? I don't know, it wouldn't really make much sense to still do that if they're not going to use him going forward anyway. Hell, they're not even going to use the same universe, it's going to be completely scrapped. So whatever happens in this movie, it's a love story, it's a goodbye to the DCEU SnyderVerse. In theory, I guess somewhat. I personally feel that some characters will make it into the new universe, which is really going to annoy a lot of people, but James Gunn and Pete Safran can only do what they think is best for the story, as they keep saying, and best for the audience. But we can't really judge whatever their plan is. I know they've annoyed a lot of people by getting rid of Henry Cavill Superman. They've given their explanation. I don't really think it's real. I've told you multiple times in multiple videos that I've heard the real reason was they cost too much money, and Warner Bros. Discovery wants to bring in younger actors. They can push this narrative all they like about young Superman. It just screams to me, young Superman, young actor. I don't have to pay him half as much. We know that Gal Gadot Wonder Woman was reportedly going to get $20 million for Wonder Woman 3. They could cast a new Wonder Woman and she would get paid much less. I get it. James Gunn came out and says, we haven't booted her. It's semantics. It's just the way people talk. That doesn't mean he hasn't fired her. As I said, as far as I know, Wonder Woman 3, Gal wasn't officially signed on in terms of contract, the same with Henry Cavill, so they didn't fire anyone as far as we understand here on the YouTube War Stew channel. They just didn't bring anyone back at the time of recording of this video. So, also in the news. So we know that James Gunn keeps reiterating that Superman is top priority at DC. So there's an article circulating on the internet. Now, I do not agree with fire James Gunn, fire Pete Safran at all. But this old interview is making James Gunn motivations to make a Superman movie, take over DC Studios, seem like it's just about money. So this interview is on entertainmentweekly.com back from 12th of July 2021. The time is war, how James Gunn took the Suicide Squad over the top. So he talks about how he doesn't want to make a Superman movie, basically. And a year later, just a little bit over a year later, he's now making a Superman movie. Although Gunn spoke with Warner Bros. About several DC properties, including Superman, he admits he never seriously considered making a Man of Steel movie. Things like Superman, Justice League, people have so many ideas about who they are that it seems like less of a fun playground, he says. What did sound like fun was another take on the Suicide Squad, which was on the studio's wish list. After the financial success of Suicide Squad, Warner Bros. Was definitely interested in pursuing a new movie, says Charles Roven, a producer on both 2016 and 2021 versions. So what people are saying is, all of a sudden now, he wants to be in charge of DC Studios, play in the playground, make a Superman movie. But he literally said the reason he didn't take it was because of the backlash from the fans. There's too many opinions. And all of a sudden now he's in charge of the studio. This is purely financial. It is purely about money. Well, we don't know about that. But me here on the channel, I felt obliged to actually report this because it's all about Superman now. Yeah, Superman's priority because David Zaslav said Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, they're going to have their own franchises inside Warner Bros. Studios. So realistically, when James Gunn said, yeah, Superman's priority, it's not actually him saying it. It's David Zaslav has told him, in order to get said job, you have to make Superman a priority. You have to make Batman a priority because he also reiterated that. And you also have to make Wonder Woman priority. It's like I keep saying, the recasting of Superman, it's purely financial. It's purely to do with money. But why did James Gunn change his tune only from July 2021 to 2022 October? That is such a short time frame to essentially be like, yeah, cool, let's run a Superman movie and let's reboot everything. Is it all purely financial? This is me speculating. I don't know. Will James Gunn ever come out and say why he changed his mind? We don't know. But to be fair, to play devil's advocate, when you're producing a movie, when you're releasing a movie, when you're directing a movie, you have hundreds of interviews and you say stuff and sometimes it probably gets taken out of context, like it could be here. We don't know. I just thought I'd throw it out there. But like always, guys, check us out on Instagram at WarStew to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. Check us out on Twitter at WarStewG and let me know. Are you going to support the Flash movie? Do you think it looks good? Is it Dark Flash? Is it Black Flash? I really do think if you are a SnyderVerse fan, you should go and watch The Flash because it's a celebration of the SnyderVerse and other movies before it, because there's that scene we told you about that, you know, shows all the different Batmans and Christopher Reeve Superman, etc., and other versions of characters that have been in DC throughout the years. So, yeah, even Grant Gustin's in it. A few other people will be on that little scene, but it's not actually a scene. It's just seeing them in the multiverse in a static kind of way, I guess. So, yeah, I think you should support this movie because it will be pretty much the last SnyderVerse DCEU related movie going forward in the whole DC cinematic universe. And it's a sad case case that the DC cinematic universe will never be what it could be. Wasted potential, I know, but maybe one day they can run it back. So I didn't want to address this, but I am going to address it. Okay, there's a fake story going around that last week Deborah Snyder proposed to Warner Bros. That they were going to produce through the Stone Quarry company they own 10 films and series to be released starting 2022 in a period of 3 years to complete and restore the SnyderVerse. Ben Affleck, Christopher Nolan, Alan Horn would co-produce, this being the executive overseen by Warner Bros. And DC, whilst financing would be provided by Stone Quarry via approval as creditors as well as Nolan Films, with Warner Bros. Only putting in 30 to 35% financially and fully obtaining distribution and rights of the films by granting the use of DC characters. These films would be totally alternate to the DCEU and would have various directors in addition to Zack Snyder directing a couple and designing the narrative, run down along a large team of writers. More information available soon. Yeah, it's complete nonsense. And then it went on to say proposed projects: Batman series, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Man of Steel 2, Zack Snyder Justice League 2, Martian Manhunter, Zack Snyder Justice League 3, The Nightmare, etc. I hate to tell you, lads and ladettes, I know you don't like when I say that line. That is not true. I've not spoken to anyone about this in the industry. The kind of sources I have, I've not reached out to anyone. I would tell you why. Because if it was real, I would have people telling me this. I would have people reaching out to me and telling me this story is real. So as I keep saying, guys, the Snyderverse, it's done. It's dusted. It could return in the future if David Zaslav had a conversation with Zack Snyder, and or if James Gunn had a conversation with his friend Zack Snyder. Sure, they do Elseworld stories. They could bring it back. But please, guys, stop talking about these false narratives. It didn't happen. Maybe she had a meeting. I guarantee it probably had nothing to do with the Snyderverse. Deborah is working with Zack on Rebel Moon, etc. They're going to be at Netflix for multiple years. Allegedly, they've got 5 or 6 Rebel Moon projects coming out alongside the other stuff they're doing over at Netflix. So the Snyderverse is going to turn into Rebel Moon. Now, I may put this in the title. I don't know how I'm going to address it. We have spoken about a lot of things in this video because I'm not one of these YouTubers that will run 7 to 8 videos at 3 minutes long. It's pointless. I would just put it in one freaking mega video. Now, I got asked by enough people to sanction me putting this in the video, but it is fake news. It is fake. It's not even close to being real. So guys, just give up on the Snyderverse. It was good. We got our Zack Snyder Justice League 1. Yes, we all want Darkseid and DCEU to ready the Armada so we can do this the old way, but it's not going to get run back yet. It could happen in the future. Sure, all the actors love Zack. I'm sure they will be down, but at the end of the day, Warner Bros. Discovery are not going to let the DC rights of these characters get sold or get pushed to Netflix at the moment. Now, I've also seen the narrative of some people being like, yeah, why doesn't Netflix just restore the Snyderverse? Because they would have to own the DC characters. So that would not happen ever. So like always, guys, check us out on Instagram at check us out on Twitter, and I will catch you in another video very soon, guys. Catch ya later.